Hey everyone, Stan here at J&D Gardens. So we're here in Garden East, and I'm doing some maintenance on our planter beds before we plant our canna garden for this season. Now, by maintenance, I mean I do this about every 2 to 3 years. I like to pull all the dirt out of the planter beds and screen it out, and I do that for a couple of reasons. One is to kind of get out any old roots that might be in the planter bed or some old rhizomes, so we don't have volunteers mixing in with other cannas. And I also like to fluff up the soil. I find that the cannas grow so much better when it's nice loose soil. And you know, so over the winter, you know, you got the snow and the rain kind of compacting everything, so this just kind of helps it out a lot more. So I'm here, I have one of my screeners. This is my flange screener, and as you see, I've been meticulously pulling all the dirt out, screen out, and as you can see, I got just a ton of like roots and some old rhizomes, big pile over here. Now, I know a lot of gardeners like to leave all that organic material inside their planter beds so that it breaks down and adds more nutrients to the soil. But for us, I actually find that that causes a little bit of problems for us because not everything is breaking down, and we're always finding different kinds of volunteers, and sometimes it's old rhizomes from the year before. You know, we think we dig them up, but I actually did a short about this earlier this week showing how volunteers were coming up, even though I thought we dug them all up. And then obviously we have some pines that fall from the trees around, and we have things growing you know, early in the spring, so we're going to clean them out, weeds. And believe it or not, I haven't grown celosias in these planter beds for over 2 years, and every now and then they pop up again because if you know celosia seeds, they kind of, once they dry out, they start breaking down everywhere. So I find them still to this day. So I bet if I see another one this year, I'm going to point it out. And we don't even grow celosias anymore, or if we do, we keep them on one of the other gardens away from this one. But in any case, so other reasons we like to do it too is when we amend the soil. So the soil is in really good shape, but every now and then, when I add compost, I don't want to just add compost to the top. I like to kind of mix it into everything. So that's why a good stir is what I call it, of all the planter beds, I just find helps everything grow. And the cannas love it. The looser the soil, the quicker and the better the cannas grow, and they love it. But a big reason why I decided to do it this year, because the soil still looks pretty good. The reason I decided to do it this year is when we were cleaning up here a couple of weeks ago, Jackie and I noticed that there were a lot of roots coming up. And what I mean is this area, and I've talked about this in other videos, this area used to be a big jungle of weeds and poison ivy. And we used to have a big silver pine that was right here, and it was huge. And ultimately we had to take it down because it was kind of leaning over onto the power lines, and obviously we wanted to make Garden East here, but so it works for us in both ways. But so when we took it down, we had a professional take it down because I think it was like 60 feet or so. But my son and I, for weeks on end, we were digging out all the roots, and there were some huge roots. This tree had to have been, you know, 60, 70 years old. I mean, it was a big tree. And so as we were digging all the roots out, they would lead out. The roots would lead out like 25 feet in one direction and into the grassy area over here. And it was just amazing how much we kept taking out. And every time we took it out, we would just keep finding more because we had to level out the ground, and we kept digging it out. And these big, huge roots. It was a big deal to do. And to this day, there are still roots that grow. About 2 years ago, we did a redesign of Garden East, and as I was moving the planter beds around, I found some more roots that were growing. And what happened is, so the roots that were still in the ground that we didn't get all of them, they're still growing because I guess the ground here is still pretty fertile. And as I'm sifting everything out through our sifter here, I'm finding all these roots, and these aren't canna roots, these are from the tree. And even though, and I know the first question everyone's going to be, well, you use a weed barrier. I do. And when this is not the first time this has happened, as I said. So we used to use a simple weed barrier that we got at Home Depot. But when we redid this about 2 years ago, we got a really heavy duty weed barrier. I mean, a real serious one. And I've kind of been meticulously pulling all the dirt out. It probably would have gone a lot quicker, but I actually wanted to show you what I was talking about. So if you want to bring the camera around. So this is one of the main beds. If you've seen our walkthroughs, this is where our black knight usually is. And look at these weeds that are, well, they're not weeds, they're roots. Excuse me, I shouldn't say weeds. They're roots. I mean, look at them. They're like, well, this one broke off. A lot of them got sheared off from when I was using the shovel. But look at this one. This one broke through the weed barrier. And again, this is not, if you can zoom in on that, look at that. And that's not made up. I mean, look at that. That is, it broke right through there. And it's a serious weed. And like I said, I think this one was the one attached to it. And, you know, big thing. And I was here digging with my hands because I didn't want to shear off anymore because I figured I wanted to show you this video, make this video for you. I have another one here. And some of well, this one kind of broke off too, but if you come over here, this is what I really wanted to show you. Now, I know it looks like it's coming from the side, so you say it's not digging through the weed barrier, but the weed barrier actually goes out a little further, about another 6 inches or so away from the planter bed. Look at this. This is probably, now it's either from the root, an old root from the tree that used to be here, or maybe from this other silver pine over there. And that could very well be it, but I'm pretty sure it's just left over because the tree was right around here. It was an enormous tree. If I find an old picture of it, I'll splice it into the video. As you can see, look at that. This is pretty serious stuff. No joke here. And, you know, I mean, look at that. It's still alive and well. And, you know, so I had to dig this out by hand. Like I said, I started shearing off. There's a lot of other spots where they were kind of growing through, and I was digging. I said, oh, you know what? I got to get the camera out here. A little mess here. I had to get the camera out here to show you this. So just wanted to show you when we do a lot of when we answer a lot of questions from our paver video on the Walkmaker, everyone knows what it says about using a weed barrier, and a weed barrier does work at times, but it doesn't work all the time. I mean, seriously, you never know. I mean, at least these aren't weeds, these are roots, but still, I mean, this is a pretty heavy duty weed barrier, and it's just, it's obviously not cutting it. I'm actually kind of scared to see on this planter bed right behind us. See, I got some more poison ivy growing on from my neighbors, but as I was, stay there, don't get any closer. See, look at all these. These are roots as well. Jeez. I mean, look at that. That's growing up from the tree that was here. Again, maybe from that silver pine right there, but probably not. That's pretty heavy duty and nice and green. So it's not dead. It's nice and green, still going. So I figured, you know, and if I was growing and this has happened, so I know this, if I was started just planting our canna lilies, all the rhizomes as they grow, they're going to get intertangled with these roots. And when we pull it out in the fall to pack them up for the winter, it's just going to be a nightmare to do. So, you know, this is 2 years. Just about 2 years, yeah. That's when we redid Garden East here. And look how much has grown. And I got a ton of it over there that I've already cut off. So, and the planter beds, we have about 6 planter beds here. And those two on the end are okay. And those two over there are okay. It's these two, which makes sense because this is where the tree was. And I guess we didn't get all the roots up. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of show you how weed barriers aren't always the answer, but you got to do what you got to do. And so for us, it just makes sense to kind of dig this out and check to see that anything's growing from underneath it that's gonna get mixed in with all our rhizomes, or you know, with our canna rhizomes, or whatever plants we were growing. So anyway, I hope you found this interesting. I just was here working and figured I'd take a little break and show you things we got to deal with to keep our garden pretty. So anyway, If you have any questions, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions on all things canna, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. And be sure to hit like and subscribe and ring that bell. So from all of us at J&D Gardens, till next time, remember, yes, we canna.